All right, everyone, welcome to part two of this Paifu review. In the previous week, we reviewed the first half of this game, and now we're on to South Round. I guess I'll go ahead and start just by commenting on my starting hand here. I think it's pretty likely that like Chanta is a possibility, but the problem is that like there's not like tone is not Yakuhai, and so it would probably be low value, like at most maybe Richi Chanta, maybe Sumo. So like
Oh,
there's that. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about this high pie. Did you have any comments,
uh,
Nemo?
is Ricci Chanta low value?
Like if I were to call for it, sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, in general, we probably don't call for Chanta unless you just have a bunch of Dora
Hmm. Yeah,
or just like absolutely need to win the hand.
right. But otherwise, yeah, Richi Chanta is seems to be the way to go.
I mean, even if you have Yakuhai, Yakuhai Chanta open is only 2,000. It's like nothing.
Yeah, it's not that much better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would look that hard at Chanta with this hand. Like, yes, you can see it, but
Oh, you wouldn't
like
like push for it?
yeah, no. I mean, you don't have that many blocks. Like I would keep it available. I'm not sure if I would force it.
So in that case, then you would just play it normally and just like throw pay or something?
Yeah, you could do that. And like the Dora is your wind in this Kyoku,
Right.
so like you could just pick up a couple of those and then you have a hand that like you don't even need other Yaku for.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hmm. Fair enough.
Yeah, like you don't absolutely have to win this hand, right? Like I don't think this is that desperate of a situation. It's South one.
No, not that desperate of a situation. Okay. Then
And
maybe
and what
maybe I overvalue Chanta because I just went ahead and did that.
oh no.
I think with this hand as well, with the four pin specifically, it's kind of far, but you also have like two, three, fours on Shoku chances. So like there's value outs without aiming too heavily on Chanta.
Hmm.
Even just like reach pin food Euro is fine. So
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like now drawing this form on, you could also maybe get Itsu.
You saw Itsu with this. I did not see this.
I think Itsu is just about as close as Sanshoku, right?
As Hanshoku, yeah. But I didn't really consider Sanshoku to be an option here. But I guess that's I can see that more than Itsu. But is it really like the same amount versus Itsu?
You can't count it.
Let's see. Two tiles there, two tiles there, and then Itsu is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's the same. Hmm. Okay. All right. Um, did anyone have anything else for the early game? I wanted to talk about this Shah. It's just something I noticed. Oh, so I meant through Shah really early. What could it mean?
What did you think it meant?
Well, I mean, I okay. I guess the answer to that question is I wanted to wait and see what would come afterwards, because that would make me like depending on what came afterwards, that might make me think, oh, is this just like close, or is this just like I'm not quite sure. So with
Well, I mean,
this, oh, sorry. I mean, in general, it would make me think, oh, this person's probably like close, right? Or like they don't. they already have their blocks confirmed, and they can't make space for it otherwise.
I mean, that's the normal assumption, yeah.
Yeah. And then when I saw the 6 go cut afterwards, it makes me think, oh shoot, this person's probably, probably has their blocks confirmed, or is really close, or not really close, but I mean like relatively close compared to the other players. Because otherwise, why would they throw it that early, the Dora?
Reasonable.
Okay, so these are reasonable thoughts, but turns out it was not really. I mean, they
That
were
is
the what?
That
That's
Ishanten,
Yeah,
right?
so the blocks were confirmed, I guess, at that point.
Yep.
So okay, that's what I wanted to mention there. Moving on, I decide to keep the 4-pin now that my like hands moved towards more of like a Paifu shape with the 3-4 mon. But I mean, Honisu, I guess, is still possible if I draw another tune or something like that.
Did you at the time? Did you at the time think about Saki getting the one pin?
The 1-pin? Why do I need a Sakigiri 1-pin?
Because Toyman, if you already thought Toyman is somewhat close, right? Then it's probably a good time to pass the 1-pin now and then keep the pay for later.
I figured that if I needed to fold, like if Toyman reached right now, if I needed to fold, I can throw 1-mon, Ton, and Shun. So I didn't think it was
I think it's more optimal to throw 1-pin.
to throw 1-pin.
Yeah, like Tone and Chun aren't even 100% safe tiles. Like they could deal in and
Yeah.
be expensive.
Okay. Yeah, there's really no reason to hold the 1-pin other than yeah, Shanta's not a thing at this point. I'm just gonna keep scrolling through. If you guys have any points where you want me to stop, let me know.
I think people have questions for this hand, right?
Yeah. So I just feel free to chime in whenever you guys want. Also, if you're in the audience and you just want to, if you have questions about things or things you want to point out, also feel free to hop in.
Was this 4-pin moving towards Honitsu?
Yeah. Although in hindsight, I guess I could have just thrown 1-pin, and then like if I had drawn like 5-pin or 3-pin, then I could just move towards Paifu again. Didn't have to throw.
Sorry, you cut out.
Didn't have to commit to it. I could have just thrown 1-pin. I should have, probably.
I personally think 4-pin is fine, if only because my read on this board is that the only way you're going to be fighting this hand is if you have like some sort of value, which is hard to come by with your current shape, since like Menzen, you're not that quick unless you draw like really good draws, like you complete the 8-so shape, and then you draw Ryanmen around the 4-pin.
Okay.
I think it's more realistic to go for value while also keeping safer tiles with the Jihai. The Jihai are also a little bit suspicious, so that may be off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my initial thought, obviously, it's, my initial thought is Honitsu here. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm gonna go Honitsu, right, then I may as well do this. So you're saying that, even if I get Pingfu, it's probably like a long shot that I would.
I think it's either too slow or too low value that it wouldn't be worth fighting other people's hands. So going for the value out with safer tiles than like the 4-pin is nice.
Right.
I agree with that in general, but I also think that one way that you could look at this is you're probably not going to be fighting anyway, so you might as well maximize the chance that you get a hand that you're okay with, like pushing back with. And I still think Pinfu is on the table. Like you could just cut one pin, and if you do happen to get those lucky draws, you like draw 8, so you draw a 3 pin, then like you can totally proceed with this hand. And like you don't know, like you might just happen to be the first to tempai. Like it's not impossible. But yeah, like in general, you should be expecting to fold, but I don't think you should necessarily look for Honitsu because that's just going to be way too slow.
Okay. Yeah, I think one pin just all around is probably better for hedging both, right?
Yeah, and like you're not going to cut 1 pin or 4 pin against a Ricci unless they pass anyway, so it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like it's a big difference in safety.
Okay. So everyone's making some interesting like middle tile cuts. Seven Montoitsu Otoshi from Kamicha.
I mean, they cut a 5 pin in between.
Yeah. Seems like Sozu. Okay, this 8 so I noted down. I was like, huh. Pinzu look very expensive for Toyman. Like it's a high chance that they need some Pinzu. Weird that they haven't cut any yet. And 6.
Go on.
Yeah, and then the 6 and then cutting the 8-9 penchant, but in between 6 and then 8. The 8 must have been related to their hand somehow. Maybe I didn't go on to think like what it could have been, but some tiles around there. So it happened to be 4, 6, 8, 8. Any other comments?
I mean, my first note is on this next discard that you make.
Oh, okay. Not Brian's 6 right after the 7.
I mean, it's
just 22.
This
Yeah.
I think this is like overdoing it, don't you think? Like what's the thought here?
The thought is that like I don't want to throw. Hold on. So first, I don't want to throw Haku or Chun because like it seems really suspicious at this point that none of the dragons are out. And so between my options, like the natural option would probably be um like 9 mon or 1 mon.
But then you choose the unnatural option.
Yes. Because I thought, well, if I can get like if I'm thinking later, Chanta Ipeiko and then like 50-50 on one of the Yakai being either a pair or something. That was my thought
So
process.
I don't think you should be so quick to confirm this though. Like why not just discard 9 mon? What is the merit of holding 9 mon here?
Yeah, now that I'm looking at it, even if I I can't really if I draw another block around 9 mon like 8 or 7, or if I happen to pair it up, then I would be over a block. Anyways.
I mean, it's more that you like won't be able to complete a block around the 9 mon.
Yeah, that's what I was about to add.
There's 2 cut,
Yeah.
and there's 3
Yeah.
7-mon cut.
But I mean, like, it's good for safety.
I mean, yeah, but do you not have enough safe tiles at this moment?
Mm, I mean,
You can climb almost up to 3 for
what was that?
Toyman. You can count up to 3 for Toyman.
For
If you
Toyman.
count.
Yeah, for Toyman. But I guess the only
You have like at least 4 for Shimocha.
yeah, and then Kamicha's Sozo Honitsu, right? So
If you assume that, yeah.
And like they cut a Yanmen, so them waiting on like 3 mon would be kind of weird.
Mhm.
Like they looks like they toy to Otoshi maybe the 7 mon, and then they also cut a Yanmen, so they're probably not waiting on a Tanki because they toy to Otoshi. And if they cut a Yanmen, that means they should have good shape, or they're forcing Yaku. And in any case, 3 mon should be like fine.
mm-hmm. Yeah, 9 mon seems like the natural and better choice here.
Mm-hmm.
But then this happens, and I'm like, huh?
That's just Bryant things.
Just Brian thinks. Do we want to? Huh?
You should probably go back to the 7 mon cut. The first one.
The first 7 mon cut.
I think it's easier to talk about from this point. Yeah. Oh. Normally for tile efficiency, you just cut 5-pin. But I didn't want to literally miss every pinzu. Can see myself transitioning into tamping if I do draw something around there. Might even get a Sanshoku. And so I Saki'd the 7-mon. And then we can go to the next one. The next 7-mon cut. Here, right? I'm like the Yakuza that's still alive are Chun, if you're lucky, Sananko, Ipeiko, Onitsu. I think they're all still okay to go. And my analysis of the board is that I can probably throw Monsu against Well, from a shot, I know this, right? That I think Toyman's probably sorry. The deal is probably close. Um, I don't want to be too slow myself, but I think a lot of Sozus are okay to throw against that, and I also still have Monsu to throw.
If you're looking for speed, wouldn't it?
I want to preserve some speed, right? But I don't think the sacrifice of a single Amon is that high.
I mean, you were talking about like Tompion earlier. Why why do you think it's not Tompion anymore? Because you could, if you wanted to go Tompion, you could just throw your tunes, right? And you would be Yamen Yamen.
True, I could. Didn't want to though.
I think that route is even quicker because Kamicho doesn't want 360. So if you really don't want them, it's like you want to keep them close and make sure they don't sumo a big hand. You can call G10 for 1k and just end the round.
The thing with the Tomping, right, like, is also that I think it's slightly faster. However, I kind of don't want to butt heads against dealer incoming Ricci if it comes to that.
Okay, so how does Tompin change that versus the route you
Because
took?
on the Tomping hand, I would reach.
So you're saying if you get Tempai with the Chun still left in the hand, regardless of the shape, you're not going to reach it?
I don't really want to. I want to be calling it.
You can call Tanya, can't you?
You can call Tanya and you can state Dom on.
Yeah, I guess. But is it even for pure tile efficiency? Is throwing Chun here really faster?
I think so.
I think if you look at the board, like Sumocha and Toyman could both be holding the Jin. So if you're muching, whereas like 3-so, 6-so, and 8-on, like Kamicha doesn't want those tiles, so they're like, you have two draws for them pretty much, which is a lot of efficiency.
Okay.
Pom. Pom.
And so why did you pull Formon here?
I feel like if I Pong form on here, right, I'm expecting that I can probably still call Forso on let me look.
You're expecting to be able to pull Forso?
Yeah. I think I can like safely K10 or also Toy Toy if I call this.
So you're okay opening for Toy Toy, but
Yeah.
you're not okay opening for Tanya.
Toy Toy Chun.
But like, isn't that even like worse defensively?
I think I can play around. I don't know.
I mean, I think it would be much easier if you did it with Tanya.
Like it looks like you're calling in a way that doesn't even guarantee that you'll have Yaku.
I don't want to put words into Brian's mouth, but I think the idea is with the chin pair, that should be enough safety, like a normal position. I just think with this board, it's hard to make that assumption.
Didn't Bryant say that his safety was from the Monzu and the Sozu that he could cut?
Yeah,
Oh, is that true? Okay, never mind.
that's implied.
So by calling the Formon, aren't you like using up two relatively safe tiles?
That's true, but I still think it's enough left.
But I
I mean, I
mean,
don't.
like, you could just pass, and then if the Chun comes out, then you'd be Tenpai.
That's true.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
I
2-5,
agree.
I looked at 2-5. It's not like, I mean, I don't think people are using it, but there's like not that many left as well. I think if people is already stuck.
You mean 3-6?
3-6 as well. Yeah. If I pawn the tunes there, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could still pawn the tune and beat Tenpai after
Right.
pawning the form on.
Hmm.
Yeah, but if you're doing crazy stuff like this against players who are competent, are they gonna feed you the tune?
No. So I thought this would also have the effect of kind of locking up people's hand. Like, especially with the unusual cut with
I'm gonna.
the Montu order. Like, it's even harder to throw Shah
Oh, to throw Shaw. I thought you said to throw Chun.
and Chun as well,
And
both.
Chun.
Well,
I feel like no one's gonna throw Chun even if you don't call. I
But
don't think
I
it.
think after the Toitsu Otachis that you did, I think Shaw is easier to push into this because it's obvious that you're not playing it straight. So if you were going for Shaw, you would be going for Honitsu and trying to force that Yaku because otherwise you wouldn't have a Yaku. But in this case, you pawn the Formon, which goes against that. So to me, it makes it seem like there's just like a weak hand.
Yeah, I feel like
Wait,
it's
what?
exactly. I
Can
think
you repeat your thoughts again, Austin? I didn't catch all of it.
Oh, sorry. The way you play this hand, if you had Shaw, like a pair of Shaw, and I was suspicious of that, it would be that you're forcing Honitsu like Sozu, and you needed a Yaku on the Shaw because you didn't think your hand was like quick enough, Enzen, to make use of that. But as soon as you pawn the Formon, then I'm a lot less suspicious of the Shaw because um, the only Yaku that you would have that would involve that is either like a Chin Anko, in which case, why did you make all these weird cuts? Or Toi Toi, in which case, why did you drop the 7-month Toitsu?
Uh, you don't think the 7-mon could be transitioning into Toy Toy? Like, I had one shot, I drew shot in between.
I mean, maybe, but I wouldn't think that when I'm looking at this board. I would just assume that you're doing something weird and you don't have an actual hand.
Okay.
yeah. I just wanted to add on to that. Like it. In either case, I don't think people would be inclined to throw, Yakuhai. And yeah, I suppose it's true. Like what Austin said makes a lot of sense, right? If people think you're Honitsu, then they will not throw Sha. But if it's not Honitsu, then you would have to have some other Yaku. So the Sha is
The form on actually makes shot easier to cut because it's not only two.
right.
It's
That's what I wanted to reemphasize.
Oh, I just thought it could still be Toy Toy.
I am struggling to see Toy Toy here.
I mean, if someone cuts an element and then pawns something right there next to that, wouldn't that lean way closer to Toy Toy?
Well, I mean,
It's
no,
not
yeah,
great.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying your hand right now. I
No,
personally wouldn't.
no. Other people. We're not talking about my hand. We're just talking about player perceptions.
Yeah, I mean, in general, that's true. But I'm just saying, this doesn't look like a Toy Toy hand to me.
But in contrast, like the Hoinsu with Shaw versus this play Toy Toy with Shaw, it would be the Hoinsu's maintaining the Honitsu is still going to be hard. I mean, it's still hard to throw Shaw against that, so the chances went up. I mean, the chance of not being able to throw Shaw goes up. Right? Am I saying this right?
And I don't understand what you're saying.
the question is it easier or harder to throw Sha after pulling Formon? And that boils down to Honitsu with Sha or Toy Toy with Sha, which is the Hoi. But regularly, Honitsu with Sha will be
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to
more
be
normal.
limited to those two. Like, you could have Chunonko.
But I could have Chunonko either case.
Yeah,
Right, but the
as
fact that you're
Austin said, yeah, sorry.
sorry, the fact that you're like forcing discards here by like cutting a Yanman, but really like the entire 677 mon shape makes it less likely that if you had an Anko of Shin and then also a Toitsu of Sha, like you wouldn't need to go to such
Yeah, you would
measures.
just play it much more
Now,
straightforward.
if your only Yaku was Honitsu and like you had a shock pair and then a bunch of Sozu, then it's reasonable to make the assumption that like okay, this guy wants to call Sozu, so he's cutting his shapes because otherwise his hand would be too slow. I think that's like a reasonable assumption. But from this pond with the 4-mon pond, it's hard to see.
Okay.
I also want to know, like, if you think that this will like kind of push the other players off their hands and make it harder for them to discard certain tiles, doesn't that put you at a disadvantage in this case? Because like the dealer is clearly like going to push, right?
Yeah, you
Right.
said
So
the
to
dealer's
start,
close.
you want the other players to fight the dealer for you.
Yeah, so doing this from your own thought process means the other players won't fight. So this like is inconsistent with what you want.
Well, isn't that assuming that the dealer will not back off either way?
Do you think the dealer will back off?
I'm not sure, but
They
I
already
think
cut.
not.
They already cut a Dora, right?
They cut a Dora, and you mentioned they look fast.
Yeah, but just because they're fast, it doesn't mean they'll push.
And they're also cutting Sozu into you, despite the fact that your hand currently looks like Sozu Honitsu. So
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
there's like pretty clear indications they're willing to fight their hand.
Yeah.
And you're like their main rival, so it's not like they can just let you win 2K, 4K right there.
Yep. I guess I didn't take into account of the most recent 8, so.
I think even if the 8-so wasn't there, I think you could probably come to the same conclusion.
I'm not confident on that.
I just think if you want other people to still be able to play their hands and stop the dealer from winning, then you shouldn't do this. You should just take the Tanyao shape and cut the Chun.
Okay.
Can we go back to the first 7-mon cut? From this shape, do you think forcing in Menton pin is too much here? Like cutting chin? It's an option, right?
I think it's too early to commit to that.
I mean, like I could see it. I'm not sure I would do it, but like if you think that 7-mon is good, like you can get an Onko or you could make 2 Mensu around it, then sure, like cut Chun here. But I don't think that you should like I don't think you're viewing the hand in that way, right?
I'm not, but I think even objectively, I think it's a little too early to commit to that.
I mean, the merit of cutting the Chun here is that you want the second 7-mon for whatever reason, and that would either be to get an Onko of it, or I guess an Onko of 4-mon, like either one, or to make 3 blocks in Manzu. And I don't think the chance of that is so high that I would be willing to go back and cut the tune, because like you could just uncle up your tune right here, like you don't know.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's fair.
between the 7-mon and the 5-pin, I mean the merit of holding 5-pin is like you get another block around there, and then you can cut your tunes, right? Is that why you
Yeah,
want to hold?
you can also have 4, 5, 6, or 5, 6, 7.
Okay. So yeah, I like this 7-mon.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's good as well.
Like, probably should note that you had 4 pairs and Dora's G high, so like you could have maybe looked for Chi Toy, but this hand, like the shape is probably too good to look for Chi Toy. Like if you picked up a Dora, you'd probably just cut it.
Mm.
I
Maybe
guess
not right.
my other question is from the onset was like, after you see Kamicha drop Shaw and then 6-0, you're mentioning that your idea was to like speed up as much as possible. Is that like to what extent are you willing to do that?
To the extent that I'm not giving up like every single save tile. I want to have like at least 1 or 2 to throw.
Yeah, but like, are you gonna fold if you call for Tenpai?
Depends on the board. I can't really answer.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
G. Pom.
All right, I wanted to
Oh,
talk.
I did.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I actually wanted to talk about something from Austin's hand.
Should I switch to Austin's perspective?
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Okay.
Go a little bit. I think my note is for turn 11. You can just hit step and then hit 11. Okay. Right. So like you called like 3-pin Penchanchi and then the non-pwn, and like that seems fine up until this point, but then like how much are you willing to push this hand? Because it looked like you weren't willing to throw any G high.
I was trying to get people to back down, but I think I just had a really bad read on the board.
What was your read on the board?
Hey, my read on the board was that Brian was going for Toy Toy. That's because I wasn't thinking about the 7-1 Toitsu drop. I know he has to have 1 Yaku, so like Jin's probably going to deal in, but I also didn't have to read that it's probably cheap because of what I mentioned before.
Who will back off? And your original thought.
If you draw into like Dora, for instance, and you didn't have it in your hand, would you drop it?
Would I drop the Dora?
Into third place. It's like one of your direct rivals. If you drop it, then you're basically tied fourth. So
See, I was thinking like the way you called could be a more washy way to keep the Yakuhais in, and I'm not actually sure how close you are. I know you threw like a bunch of Pinzus afterwards, but which turn are we talking about?
I would say the 4-pin drop. I think the 7-pin was too much theatrics, but there it's like kind of weird.
ポン
See, I feel like this is forced because 3-pin looks really good. Like I'm not sure why you give up that block.
Okay, that's interesting.
But I mean, like, Chun's not safe at all.
What? No, I'm not saying from what he would cut. I'm saying from what I see from my perspective. I'm not sure if this is like an actual overflowing of a block.
Oh,
But would that give you enough confidence to drop the door into this pond?
At this point on the board, yeah. If I had time to think, I would throw it.
Okay.
And I won't elaborate on that. Like I'm thinking if Sha deals in, right, it will deal into Shabo. Or you're too afraid and it's a donkey. But I'm mainly thinking it'll be Shabo. But I can't really see you picking a Shabo over Con 3-pin. Especially that it will be Mongon either way.
What? If Shaw deals into Shampoo, it's Hanema.
Okay. But it's Mongon plus either way. I feel like you just take the easier to come Mongon. Is that reasoning flawed? Am I still online?
you are.
Yeah, I am thinking about it. I would think if your hand was better to push, then maybe that line of reasoning makes sense. It's still a bit iffy to me, but no matter like how much I think about it, pushing from like your position with like the Chun Otozuke, pushing shot from that seems bad to me. Just in the rare case that it does deal in, it's such like a big,
I see.
yeah, such a big swing that it's
Yeah.
probably not worth it, especially in like sub one with these points.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't think that like you can really throw Shaw, like no matter how good your reads are, unless it's like over 90%. Then it's like I probably wouldn't throw Shaw. Like I was tempted, I probably wouldn't throw Shaw.
Okay.
But yeah, this 2 4-pin cut from my perspective, it did look kind of sus too. It's like, is it like is that even real? Like, do you have a real hand? Like, I feel like you don't.
I mean,
I
I didn't.
I felt the same way.
Do you think there's a cut that would be more convincing?
I mean, cutting a Shompai or cutting the Dora, like Shompai Chun or Dora Shaw, maybe.
Okay, I
But
will
like,
keep that in mind.
but like you can't really afford to cut those given your shape, right? And given the board.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, couldn't it have been like, uh, Something like Shao or Chun Shampong.
I mean, it could.
Yeah, it's just the 2-4 pin does look suspicious given
Mm.
how good the 3 pin looks. And it would mean I kept like 3 pairs versus keeping a good block, stuff that's connected to that block, and then just like throwing one of my safer pairs.
And like, what are the chances that he's Honitsu Tenpai and he didn't overflow any G high?
Yeah.
Overflow pay.
That's turn
yeah.
2.
Kidding.
That's not really overflow.
I know. That's a joke. All right.
This Forso really threw me off.
Oh,
I was like, I was not expecting this. Cut 6-so, and then 8-so, and then 4-so, like one row apart from each other. So I was very confused.
I mean, it could be like just playing defense, right? It's be like, okay, Forso doesn't deal into Pinzu Honitsu, it doesn't deal into Toy Toy. So
Yeah. So I was like, is this a fold? That seems a bit. I guess it's possible. Like,
it's one of the possibilities, yeah.
yeah.
Isn't it the most reasonable possibility?
I think it could also be a slide if it was 4-5-6.
hmm
And then you don't want to cut 7, so it's a potential toy instead.
I did
I
not
mean
think
that
about this.
like shouldn't a slide be like the first thing you think of when it's like, wait, they cut other tiles around there. Why did they have that one?
Okay. Well, I do not have this power to read slides. Now I will pay attention and think about slides as a possibility.
I guess you shouldn't take it as like 100% they're folding just because of this force. So I think there's like other possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, I did, it was either they're folding or they're like very, like, over 70% chance that they're tenpai is what I wrote down.
I mean, like you should think about like why they even have this force. So like either as part of a Mentu or as part of a Tatsu, right?
Right.
And if it's part of a Mensu, they could cut it because they slid or because they folded and they broke up their Mensu.
Mm-hmm.
If it was part of a Tatsu, it could also just be breaking up the block or they cut it because they're folding.
Yeah.
Like those are all like the normal, like reasonable possibilities.
So in this case, the Tatsu, the only possibility would be the 5-so, like 4-5-5 draw into the third 5-so, but that seems unlikely because of the other draws, right?
Can't it just be 3-4 so?
3, because 3-4-so, then what? Because we see all 4-4-so, right? So it can't be like 3-4-4.
No, so it would just be like they had a 3-4 so.
Oh, and they're breaking
And
it
then they
up.
do another 3.
Yeah. I thought that, like, if you assume that's a Tatsu and not a Mensu, then I think 3-4 so is like the most reasonable.
Still weird because it's the last 3-so, so it's
It
not
is
like they
weird.
paired up on it. Yeah.
So it's more natural to assume that it's a Mensu.
Is it given the 6 so early cut?
I mean, then it would just be a slide, wouldn't it?
Um,
Or
so
they're
it was
folding.
4. It was 4, 5, 6, 6, and 6 was cut.
I mean, is that not normal at like Ishanten? If you assume they're Ishanten when cutting the Dora?
Yeah, I think the Ryankon makes a lot of sense here, just given what you see. Like 4-6-8, and then they drop the 8 when they drew the 5, and then drop 4 because 7-so is dangerous.
I see the transition.
So you think they had a Yankon, they completed it when they cut the 8, and then the 4-so was just out of a Mensu for whatever reason. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's possible, yeah.
I think that's a reasonable explanation.
So Okay.
I mean, you can open it up and see what it is.
Yeah, it happened to be 468.
Mm.
But it was not complete.
Well, I mean, it was Tempai,
Yeah.
so I was correct on that front, I guess.
I don't think the reasoning for this Forso cut signals Tempai is correct though.
Yeah, it's more likely that it's a fold, right?
Or a horizontal.
Or a slide.
Yeah, or a slide, but drawing into the Tempai from here is, I would say it's less likely than the other two. I don't know, maybe not.
I mean, if you just think of all the other possibilities, the chance that it's just happens to be the Tempai cut is not that high
Okay.
comparatively. And do you think dealer would Dama here?
Yeah, I'm like maybe they don't have Dora, and if they draw Dora, then they'll not throw it. It's
They
possible.
don't have Dora. They already cut Dora.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like if they draw another Dora, they won't be able to throw it. That's why they might Dama.
Mm.
Is what I meant.
I can see that in that case, but I don't think the case of that happened is high.
That they'll draw the Dora and then fold. That's not high.
Well,
Like
that
I
they would
said,
specifically choose to Dama in order to avoid that circumstance.
Like they would just reach you anyways, is what you're saying?
I mean, from my perspective, after the 8-9 Manzu, like the Benchon cut, and then they're like 8-so, 4-so shenanigans, I would assume that they have like a decent weight, and as dealer, I mean, the chances they draw into the lost door aren't that high. So, if they had a good weight, I would expect them to reach you.
Yeah, like if someone else is waiting on the Dora, then like there's gonna only be one, maybe two left. If it was Taki for them even to draw, and it's more likely that they're in people's hands than in the wall at this point.
Okay.
Also, like, it's a 50-50 shot that you draw into the Dora versus, like, if you're just assuming 1v1, right? And someone's going to draw the Dora, it's 50-50. And if the person you're fighting draws the Dora, the Itsumo, you're Oya, so you get the Oya Kakuri, which is minus 4k. Versus if you have a good weight, like, you can stop that from happening entirely by just winning the hand, right?
Yeah.
And if their
okay.
weight is like a door or something, then it's like a bad weight. So chances are you're going to win the fight.
Yeah. So this is assuming that they have a good weight. But what about in this scenario where they have bad weight, no value? Then it's totally reasonable that they would just Dama and then fold if they drew Dora, right?
But Austin did mention earlier, like just based on the discards, from the other players' perspectives, it looks like the dealer probably has a good weight because
Right.
they cut multiple blocks.
Okay.
mhm.
And like they did cut Dora second turn, so
Right.
Right?
I mean, I guess I should talk about why I didn't reach this hand. Do you want to go to my perspective?
Yeah. Or all the discards up to this point made sense, right?
For mine, I mean,
Yeah, for yours.
for the most part, like I started Ishanten. I shifted the blocks around a little bit, but I mean,
yeah,
Home. G.
seems pretty reasonable.
Boom.
Yeah.
So, like 7-so normally looks pretty good on this board. Like if you assume Kamitra's Pinzu Honitsu, And then like there's a lot of upper sozu cut, including like I cut 6-so, 8-so, and then 4-so. So 7-so actually looks like a pretty good weight, but the fact that it's this good late game is like kind of has the opposite effect. Like where are they? Like it's entirely possible that someone just has a bunch of them, and then like I won't be able to win the hand. So I didn't Dama because I was afraid of drawing the Dora. I Dama'd because like I don't think I can win this shape.
But if you did draw Dora, would you draw it?
And not from this shape.
Okay.
Like it's not worth the risk.
And in the event that 7-so is like good in the wall, then there's a chance you get similar anyways.
Right.
So you're protecting yourself against the bad outcome, and you still get some of the benefits of the good outcome. Seems good.
And then I changed to a Tonki here because Tonkis are good and you should not be afraid of Tonkis. Cough cough.
Okay.
The Tonki I chose didn't particularly matter. 6-so and 8-so were both Fudi 10 for me. Not like I could win by their own anyway because I didn't have a Yaku, but 6-so was just safer looking in general, so I just kept the 6-so, and I was prepared to reach like if I got a good Pinzu shape like this.
So there at this point there's 2 7-pin left and then 1 8-pin left.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess it does look good, yeah.
Good
And
value.
like I could just sumo 4,000 all right here.
リーチチー
Why did you cheat?
リーチチー
Did not want to draw again. I have another save tile if I need. Well, I mean, I already have. But
リーチチ
Wait,
ー
why not?
A lot of safe tiles.
yeah, but I don't want to draw again.
You don't want to draw again?
リーチチ
Yeah, if you skip this chi, then you have to draw 3 times. And if you take this chi, you only have to draw twice.
ポン スモ
Hmm. Any other comments about this one?
Nima, how would you interpret from other players' perspective what your weight is when you recheat?
Oh, I mean it's like there's so many Sujis passed. Like it's clearly something weird, right?
Yeah. But is there like more than that?
Hmm. I mean, it would depend on their individual hands, wouldn't it?
Hmm. Okay.
チーポンスモ
Yeah, the board is just so weird, right? Like
Yeah.
there's so many number tiles out and like so few G high.
It's definitely one of the weirdest boards I've ever seen.
You could probably enumerate like what the possible weights are, and it's probably not that much.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to be narrowed down even further just by the tiles that people have in their own hands.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Kind of What was Aaron's last cut?
3 mon.
A 3-mon?
It was one chance. Or was it? No, it was oh yeah, it was. It was one chance at the time.
3-mon seems like one of the things that could deal in.
I mean, the 3-mon would only deal in what if they had a 4/5 or some other complex shape like that.
Couldn't he just have 3/4? Sorry, yeah, 4/5.
Yeah, 4/5, right?
So you're gunning for more than just Tenpai. You wanted to win this hand with Chanta and the Shah. Well, yeah, Shah Yakuhai.
I mean, I just didn't think 3-mon would deal in. It just looked a little too weird.
I mean, it could have dealt in if I had picked up like 4 mon instead of 18 as my Tenpai tile.
Yeah, either
Or-
3-mon or 4-mon work.
Like, it's not impossible. It is one
It's
of the
not,
remaining
yeah,
candidates.
it's not impossible. I was thinking about that just now.
And like, you don't really have enough draws left to be able to push this very, very narrow Ishan 10.
Yeah, and it's also not going to be safe because I'm going to have to 50-50.
Also, I mean, I guess Brian could be waiting on like 8 so Tonki. No, they can't be waiting on 8 so Tonki. Yeah, how does he wait on 8 so and have a Yaku?
So I shouldn't
Time
have pawned here.
Oh, I mean, he could be waiting on 8 Sotanki, right? Oh no, they're all gone.
No, yeah,
so-
they're all gone. So.
It's always safe. Did you think Austin did not have a real hand, Aaron? Because that has like heavy implications on your 50-50 on Chu and Haku.
I was thinking.
Wait, does it?
Does it not?
It's still a 50-50, right?
Well, I was thinking like I was thinking I would only push if one of those came out and I was like if I deemed it safe. Otherwise I would just fold.
But you're willing to push the 3 mon.
I just didn't think it would deal in.
I mean, you should probably just fold with that hand, I think.
Okay.
No, 1-1, 8 so, it seemed good. You have enough tiles, probably.
I mean, you could have just passed the Shah and cut the Shah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Shah came out after the retreat.
Yeah.
Is there the possibility that if calling the Shah could make me or Brian flustered, because now we're defending against 2 people, so it increases the chance that we deal in? Dude, I thought the 1-1, 3-1 was like a push, by the way.
Yeah. I could see that. I'm not well, I guess if you end up just cutting a bunch of save tiles in a row, then it's not going to be looking very much like you're pushing.
Yeah, after that, yeah.
Yeah, if like you pawn Shah and then you cut like 1-1, 1-1, 8, so it's going to be like, this guy probably didn't even have a hand.
I don't know. I'm just concerned about being able to actually Tenpai.
I mean, if you didn't call, you would be.
No. I'm saying for you,
Oh.
and I'm still Tenpai.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't push this 3 mon from Ishan 10 when you have very low chance of even getting to Tenpai and even lower chance of actually winning.
Right. Okay. Not worth dealer delaying their draw. I just gave them more draw some by doing that.
All right.
I don't think so.
No, I didn't actually. Anyways,
つも
as I said, 1 hour for this hand.
Seems about right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me pull up my notes for this hand.
All right.
Wasn't this the? Can we look at this from Aaron's perspective? I just want to see.
Sure.
Oh, wait, I think I'm thinking of a wrong hand. Never mind.
Not this one.
Do you have a turn number?
No, it's the next hand.
Oh.
At this point, I wrote down Toyman Pinzu is. They want Pinzu. Toyman wants Pinzu. And that's the only note I had for this hand. Was this door cut okay?
Toyman wants Pinzu. Gives Toyman Pinzu Dora. Do you think your hand is worth cutting this Dora?
I mean, I think it's fine.
I think you can delay the decision and cut like 4 mon here, and you can also pair up the Dora, and suddenly your hand's Mongon potential.
Yeah, 4 mon's an option.
Yeah, like this hand. I would not cut Dora from this because like there's no way you're getting value without that.
Okay.
And like if you had like confirmed Paifu, I think it'd be fine enough. But like you don't even have that. You have bad shape, Yan Shanten.
And no value. Okay.
Yeah.
And the way your hand turns into a good shape, one of the ways is by drawing into a pair, which includes the Dora. So, like, if you draw into the Dora pair here, it's actually huge.
Yeah.
リーチ
リーチ ポン ポン
I mean, if you
Sumo.
wanna, like, my hand is a really weird shape, right? Like, I'm Fudi 10 for So Kanchan, but if you want to go back, I was Chi Toy Shanten, and then I also encoed up a tile, I believe. Yeah, right here. So it's like, yeah, this is
Could be big.
リーチ
this is something. But like in the lead, I can't really afford to deal any pots. Like, I mean, I can afford it, but like it's ridiculous to do so. Like, why take this risk?
リーチ
Right.
So I did Mawashi a little bit.
ポンスモ
All right.
Can you go to my one so? Just have a generic balance question.
Oh.
What do you guys think?
seems okay.
Not recommended.
Really? I mean, I like it.
What are the merits of keeping one so? So you can Anko 4 so? But there's one left.
There's also you can also
The 2-so is also dead, so like 3-so isn't that great either.
I mean, you can still like accept the 3-so even without the 1-so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the only thing that one so allows you to do is get another 4 so, right? So I don't think it's that big of
I
a
mean,
deal.
there's also pairing up the 1-so for Chitoy.
Oh, well, I mean, I wasn't thinking about that one.
Why? You have 4 pairs.
Mm,
Well, it's a real thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I think it's like not worth the um. Well, once you have like 2 Mensu, it's probably slower to go for Chitoy.
Mhm.
I mean,
And
if you
then you
go
have,
for... Sorry.
I was gonna say you have 3-so as well to pair up, which is kind of nice.
I mean, if you wanted to confirm Chitoy, you just cut 2-so.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
feel like confirming Cheeto is probably too much of a commitment for me at this point.
definitely too much.
Yeah, which is why it didn't cross my mind because I was like, wow, it's really
I don't
pushing
know.
it.
Is it really that much of a commitment? Like, I could see it here.
2-so?
Yeah,
I think 2-so?
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, the hand, you might have 2 Mensu, but like the rest of it is kind of not the best, and you still might end up on a Champon and you don't have any value. Like,
I just feel like
I
it's
don't
more
think it's bad.
flexible.
Yeah, you can fix these shapes,
You can draw 5,
especially
10,
with the
17.
6-1, with the
Yeah, I
five
mean
six
that.
6 7.
Yeah, I mean that's why like you normally could just cut the 1-so here.
Yeah,
But
because you
I
can. Yeah.
think that Chitoy is like it's still an option. It's not like you should totally push it out of your mind with this hand.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you draw into 5-7, 5-1, 7-1, like it's going to become an option anyways. So.
okay.
Reach.
リーチポンスモ
Oh wait, could we go to my hand for that? I just have a comment to make.
This one?
The first 1-pin cut.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought this was weird.
it was. My idea was, well, if I grab the 9-pin, like I can confirm the Hatsu Toitsu and the 1-pin Toitsu with 8-pin, then have that, but I kind of also want to keep the 9-pin alive, so it was a tough decision. I think in hindsight, I probably just keep the Hatsu open and go for the on 10 1000 just end this round. Because my hand doesn't really have value either. Waiting for the 9-pin's a little bit of a stretch. And then here my Ricci shape is just worse, so
Mhm.
Yeah, I think even if you get or you were saying if you do this, you're thinking of getting rid of Hatsu
I'm saying if I do this, I can draw 9-pin,
and then
and
get rid of
then
Hatsu.
yeah, I could even like go to Chanta, right? Or if I draw 9-pin,
You would go eat.
Like there's two routes. You can go Ikitsukan, which is a little greedy, but it might be warranted considering a Hanetsumo here would put me in first place. Or you can cut 6-pin, 4-pin, and look for a Chanta with the 1-1 draw. But with 3-1-1 out, that's like less of a thing.
Yeah, I was thinking. But no, I don't. Yeah, like the only thing I could think of is if you draw 9-pin, then Itsu is good. But
then you're also giving up the 7-8. So like Ryanman for 5-pin, 7-pin.
yeah,
Probably too much. So even though Hatsu is one cut, the 1-pin Hatsu Shampon is strong,
yeah,
and the 9-pin isn't guaranteed, whereas the Sakurichi, like if you draw into 6-9, so it's more likely you draw into this before you draw into something like 9-pin.
right.
So it's better to just take the good shapes.
Reach.
Okay.
All right, South 2.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
we
can
take
we
a
go
slight
to
1 minute
Aaron's
break.
hand?
Yeah, this is my hand.
Go to step 5 when you draw the 6-pin.
Before that, I wanted to talk about this 1-pin decision. Did everyone agree with that? I was thinking the choice between Itsu and Dora Acceptance.
I agree. I think, especially because Dora Acceptance also gives you Tanyan, which is the Juhan that Itsu also gives you.
Okay.
I mean, another part of the consideration should also just be that this is the 3 times overlapping 3-6-9 pin acceptance, right?
Uh-huh.
That's not very good.
Okay.
So I think breaking up the penchant is the play here.
Okay.
I think it's good, yeah.
And you said turn 5?
Yeah.
Oh. Aye. Yeah. So normally you would throw one so.
I think so, yeah.
And I was thinking about it. Ah, shoot. What was I thinking? I was thinking about it. Like one so is correct. I'm just gonna say that one so is correct. You should throw one so here.
Just misplay, maybe.
But what was I thinking? Shoot, what was I thinking?
I mean, that Tanya is not confirmed, so take the Diancon. Is that what you were thinking?
I mean, okay. The efficiency is the same either way, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I just didn't want to miss on the 2, so I guess. And it could be a potential sushi trap.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just trying to. I don't know what I was thinking, but I that probably crossed my mind.
I think the efficiency is like technically the same, but the nice thing about Tanya is that you have the 7 so draw to upgrade your shape. And it gets you like goodies like Ipeka, Paifu potential. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like if things go super well, this could be like Tom Pini Peko.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, at least you didn't go back, Shanten.
How would you do that?
Reach.
seems good to me.
Reach.
And then Brian was like, "What the heck is your upper Sosu shape?" But anyways, any thoughts on that?
I mean, you shouldn't you just cut the 5 mon?
I would think so.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
リーチリー
All
チ
right. Nothing
Go.
else to talk about here. What was it? Okay. Sipomba. Oh, this was a mistake. I should have thrown 9 pin first. 6, 7, 8 Sunshoku chance.
Chi.
チ
Pon.
チチ
Okay, so Toyman looks like potentially Sanshogu, potentially Tanyo, or both. And I can't throw 5 pin here because I don't want because I want a Shibori. So I don't.
You start with the 7, huh?
Yeah, I looked at 2-5 versus 5-8, and I just figured 5-8 is probably less likely to finish.
Does that mean you're willing to throw the Dora?
I mean, it'll have to depend, but probably not. Probably just Tonki if I can pass 5 pin, but if I'll see what happens.
I think. Did you think to just like pair it up or something, and then still
Fedora?
have? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I pair it up, then I'll
Okay.
just throw 5 pin.
That's one small merit of it.
Do people agree that we shouldn't drop 5 pin here?
Do people?
Like, all Aaron said is he wants to Shibari. Is that enough of a reason? For me, it seems like it's not guaranteed that Sumacho's Tenpai.
Right, because there's no overflow yet, right?
Mhm.
So
I'm in 4th place, so if I let Sumacho win a hand, like, they're just going to. I mean, I still have my dealership, I guess, but
it would put you farther behind.
yeah, it would put me farther behind. Whereas if I like, this is still as bad as the 5-8 one looks. It's still Ishanten and Ryamen with like potential to pair up the Dora. I don't want to miss that. If I draw 3-4 mon, I'm going to reach because no matter how many 5-8 mon are out, just like 6 of them, there's still a chance there's 2 wall and people might push it. So for me, I think the 5 mon is worth pushing, but or 5 pin is worth pushing into Sumacho's hand. But I don't know if people agree with that.
I agree.
That it's worth pushing.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see pushing it, but the monster just looks so bad.
Yeah. Not only that,
Like,
but these two are overlapping.
Yeah, like I could see you like picking up 2 mon and then 6 mon Tonki, in which case you don't really need the 7 mon anyway. But like even if you pick up 3 mon, you could still reach you waiting on 5 mon, which is only 1 left, but it's still pretty bad.
I guess another concern of mine, Did you have more to add to that?
I mean, I think that like it's not unreasonable to try and stop Pinzu here, at least for one turn. Like you might stick more to it because the shape is okay.
Yeah, and I think I might, just looking at the board a little closer, like Dora would deal into like what Liaomen's gonna deal into. 7, 8. 8 is one chance. 5 is one chance. So it's just one chance on either side, right?
I mean, you'd be more worried about dealing into like multiple Dora, like
Yeah,
Shambo.
yeah. Like, but that's obviously gonna be another worry. Yeah.
I don't know. If you gave me this hand, I would consider cutting 3-4 mon and be like, okay, we'll miss out on the 2 mon. That's fine. But like if you can stick something to the Pinzu, you'll have a better shot of like recovering this hand without cutting Pinzu and without potentially being forced to throw the Dora.
So why 3-4 mon over 7, 8, 6?
Just so you can make sure you can use up the Dora.
Okay.
And like you could also maybe get Sanshoku. It's not impossible.
Okay.
But like you could just throw this 5 pin. Like
This
it's
is actually a good one, I think.
Yeah, I could see either way. I'm personally still leaning 5-pin, especially because I think my biggest fear is that we cut like 7-1 here, and then Simocha's hand progresses, and then we draw 6-1. Well, now we're going to show up the 5-pin regardless. But it might form enough time if their hand is not Tenpai yet that
Yeah,
their hand does
I
end
would
up
rather.
Tenpai.
I'm in the die later camp. Just because I've been burned by die now too many times, or assists and then die later. Anyways.
I mean, the demerit of pushing 5 pin here is that if you want to keep this hand alive, you're gonna have to push more Pinzu. Like, well, you're gonna have to push any Pinzu that you draw.
After you push the 5-pin, yeah.
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 And if you're not prepared to do that, then it like I could see just not pushing 5 pin here. And you might be in 4th, but we probably should reiterate here that this is like practicing for league play. So even if you get a 4th, it's better that you don't get like a huge 4th. Like dealing into 8K would be bad. So it's totally fine to fold from 4th or confirm 4th just based on the situation.
Right. I agree with that in principle. I still think the hand is good enough to push the 5-pin in my perspective, but I can see either way.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that in normal circumstances, but the Monzu just look awful. That's actually kind of why I cut my Monzu the Onmen, because Monzu just looks so bad of like I'm not going to Tenpai with this. If you want to go to my perspective, when I cut the 7 Mon, yeah, it's like I don't think Kamicha is Tenpai, and I'm just kind of ignoring Shimocha, but like I don't think I'll finish this Monzu. So like it doesn't matter how many Dora you have if you don't get to Tenpai. So I kept the Pinzu around so I could stick stuff to it in case I'm not prepared to throw them against Kamicha. And this is how it worked out.
Just my luck. I draw the last 5 mon.
I mean, there are 2 5-8 mon in the wall, so
All right. I had no notes for this hand. Did anyone have notes?
I also had no notes for this hand.
I missed to talk about something on South 2-0.
2-0. Okay.
Go to when I go to like the fifth turn, I think. Do you cut choices here between 5-pin and 9-pin?
Or you're looking for Sanshoku, huh?
Yeah, because I thought you could squeeze out a pair pretty easily on the Soju side, but then I was trying to balance that between also maybe just getting Ipeco Tanyo.
Tanya. Okay.
I mean, normally you cut 9-pin for Tanya,
Right.
but you're saying that based on the shape of the rest of this hand, you could look for Sanshoku, you could look for Ipeco, you could make a pair elsewhere and just cut the 9-pin later. So cutting 5-pin is the choice you made here.
It like is that good? Like I'm unsure.
I mean, I think it's reasonable.
But is it better than 9-pin?
I mean, you probably just normally cut 9-pin here anyway. Even if you look for Sanshoku, like you could still fill in the 6-pin first, or if you fill in the 3-so first, you'd rather have the Tanpin.
Okay. One reason why I chose to cut 5-pin is I feel like if I need to do a little bit of light Mawashi, it'll be much easier.
Light Mawashi as opposed to heavy Mawashi.
I mean, it's only going to just be throwing one more, just throwing your pair of 9-pin. That's pretty light.
Okay.
But is that reason good enough? Or it's just so dominated that you should throw 5-pin?
I'd probably still throw 9-pin.
Okay.
Like you're in the lead, but not by very much. Like winning 4,000 all here would be pretty big.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. Moving back to South 2 then.
Right.
No notes, Brian?
Let me. Sorry. Let me
Or
scroll.
Austin?
Right.
South
So
two-
yeah, can we go to your hand?
My hand?
Aaron's hand? Yeah. And then I declared reach like turn 5, I think.
トン
リーチ
Oh, this was the Chitoy one?
Yeah. Is cutting 8 so unreasonable here? Or do people think this is only going to be Cheetoy, so we just cut Shaw to Posse Butsu?
Should we talk about this from the first Amon?
Sure. Because if we think it's only Cheetoy, then you would say you would cut Shaw here.
There's many choices here.
There
I
are
think.
many choices here.
Yeah. Do you think there's a case for cutting 4-5 mon, or is that like?
I think there is.
There is.
Because
I
it's
also think
Toy Toy, Honro,
Honro.
Maitsu, right?
I think there absolutely is.
I mean, if it's
Agree.
Honro, 8 months still okay.
Right, but you can use that for Chanta as well.
Yeah, it's Horno and Chanta.
Yeah, like this could be just 52 if you miss the Toy.
Just Chanta Honitsu.
Like, yeah, if you draw 7-mon first, like
Mhm.
this is fine. Open 52. It's not bad. Like you take that from a normal Honi too.
It's true.
Because like if you draw 3-6 mon and then you call something, your hand doesn't have any.
Yeah,
It's just like 200,
It would
right?
be 2,000, yeah. Or 26, probably.
Yeah, and then it's like, I don't think you need you don't need that block anyway.
Yeah, you have 6 blocks.
You have 6 blocks, and the remaining blocks are like, I would consider them to be quote unquote good shape. And so you need even less of a backup. There's even less of a reason for the 6 block.
Yeah, I guess if I were going for all the reasons above, right?
Yeah.
Chanta, Honro, Toy Toy, Chi Toy,
Mm-hmm.
all of those don't necessarily need, all those don't need 4 Paimon.
Uh-huh.
So I guess for that reason, 4 Paimon looks pretty good to discard. Is that the reasoning?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you assume that you're going to have to call for this hand, if you want it to be a normal hand, then you don't really want 4 or 5 mon left. And if you're going to keep it close for Chitoy anyway, you don't really need them. Like, you could pair up other stuff.
I just thought, like, if Menhon Chitoy were the route I'm taking,
Mm-hmm.
then 4 5 mon would be not terrible options
To keep or to cut?
to keep for Menhon Chitoy.
Did you look mostly at Mentone Chitoy here?
It was mostly that, and then Toy Toy was like the second on my list. Honro and Chanta were pretty low. We're like,
Hone, if you toy, it's going to be Hone though, like combined.
yeah, like that was like the next one on my list is what I meant. So I
To
guess
Wait, how is Hone though third if toy second? Like, they should be the same.
okay, just saying.
No, because if you get toy,
Yeah,
it's going to be Hone though.
then it is Honro.
can you stack rank your win percentages with these Yakus?
Like, would I rank Menhon like Chitoy higher than Toy Toy? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I mean you're closer, Shanten, to Chitoy, that's for sure. But I'm asking you, do you think
Win
what
percentage
about the
wise?
final win percentage?
Actually, you know what? Win percentage wise, I think they might. I think Toy Toy like Honro might be slightly higher.
I agree.
Yeah, with a shape like this.
Yeah,
Once you draw the shot, I agree 100%.
but then
Hmm.
if someone if people see me throwing 4 5, won't they think, oh, that's kind of weird?
They won't think it's only two.
That's true, but like, what would that affect the tiles they hold or throw?
I mean, like, because you're gonna be like waiting on 1 mon, 9 mon, and then Otakaze, I don't think they're that much less likely to come out than normal.
Okay, even if
But
my pawn looks weird.
Oh, okay. Not a big difference.
I mean, it's like, people who don't have hands are gonna hold them, but it's not like they'll be so afraid that they can't throw them.
Right.
But looking at the board, it looks like all of the G or all of the Yakuhai are pretty much out.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit more sus. So it, based on that factor, it might be a little bit harder to come out.
Wait,
Wait.
the fact that the Yakuhai are visible makes the Otakaze less likely to come out, you think?
I think because, like, it narrows down the tiles that they could need.
Like if
Like,
I
because
start calling.
it could just be like a toy with Dora, right? Like,
That's
other
true.
people can't tell.
Right.
So it narrows down the tiles that you're looking for, which would be the tiles that would be more likely to be used in Toy. And since a bunch of those are out, people like might be a little bit more hesitant to cut otakaze or terminal tiles if they don't have a hand. Like if there were a bunch of candidates left, they might just be like, whatever. It's like 1 in 10. Just throw this one.
I see.
リーチ
I'm not sure that outweighs just how good this hand could be if you just actually win it.
Yeah,
I would definitely still just go for the toy.
All right. So 4 5 line.
リー
I
チ
think so, and I think there's merit in if you do drop 4 5 mon and you pawn like an Otokaze, you also have the potential to slow down people's hands, which just gives you more. Because like no one wants to deal into fourth place most likely unless they have hands to deal with, so that gives you more chances to sumo and stuff, and that makes keeping the 8 mon better in my opinion because like you can draw the 7 mon and still have Tanta. It's, like could be 64. So
Okay.
I think I'll ask another question for this, Shaw.
yeah, I was just wondering if from this hand right now it's probably fine to cut this shot because it looks like the only way you're going to Tenpai is the Menhon or Menhon Chitoi. If we had 8 mon in our hands, is it worth just cutting the Itsu Ipatsu because there's a bunch of Suji that haven't passed and like would like to fight with this hand.
Let me answer the if you had an Amon first. If you had an Amon, I would totally throw the ASO, yeah. Because it's like too good. And there's
Right.
way too many Sujis left. But now I think it's a toss up.
So you don't see this hand like if Eitsu clears and then Ton drops, you would not call it. You would want to fight with the Menhon Chitoi with the value.
No, I think even with this hand, you could just cut 8 Soipatsu. Like the benefit of keeping 6 blocks from the shape, even though I think you should have kept 8 mon before, is that you can choose how you want to progress this hand by breaking up one of the blocks. Although I would probably just take the aggressive play and push 8 so here. If it passes, then you could also like you could even just push 4 mon here and be like, okay, 1 mon, come out, time to pwn, and then push 5 mon and 8 so later because the hand is just too good and it's too early. You can't like you can defend, but like you're gonna just throw all your G high and give up on this hand.
So you would just Sensu 4 5 line and then 8 so.
You could bait out the 1 mon. G high will probably come out pretty easily against the early Ricci. Like it's not unreasonable in my mind.
Yeah, I agree. That was my line of thinking as well. I don't know about baiting out the 1 mon, but like the G-High should come out pretty quickly.
I think baiting out the 1 mon is reasonable against the early Ricci.
I
Like if
think-
people don't have anything to fold with, they'll throw terminal Suji.
Yeah, I agree 1 mon will come out. I guess if we're like committed to the 8K hand with like Totoi, then we don't need 4 5 mon. So
8K, wouldn't it be 12K?
that's okay, sorry. Yeah, 1 row.
Yeah.
ドン
See, 1 mon came out even without the 4 mon.
Should I have taken it right here?
No,
Not
you already
enough.
got the shot.
You already
You dropped the shot, yeah.
Oh yeah.
ドン
Unfortunate. Did not deal at Ipatsu.
Not punished.
Did not deal into Takame either. You could have got sumoed for worse.
All right. Cell 3. Um, moving on.
I don't really have any notes for this hand.
Okay. I just thought that, Toyman's cuts were a little bit weird. 3 so and then 5 on, and then the Hatsu. And then 3 mon afterwards, so I went ahead and just took a look at it. And it just turned out to be a 2-3-5, and then it became 2-3-3, and then it became 1-2-3.
Yeah, I thought my hand was really good. So I was also hoping to win on the 8-so or get the 8-so. Like Kasozu looked really good.
Right. Makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah, Sozu looked really good.
1 4
Oops. Okay. And then all last.
Wait, I have a small question.
Okay.
Thoughts on dominating on my hand?
1
Not good, right? 6-0 is too dead. Never mind, let me
Dominating
get
for
to that.
what reason?
For
Like,
for
would you
safe.
switch to Dora if you drew it, or what?
That's one. The other is to take the Diamond, but I don't think that's a recommend. ASO is just too good in this case, huh?
8-so is very good.
Yeah, I
ASO is
think
too good to
the
not down.
Ryanman is worse than the Tonki 8-so.
Yeah.
Do you ever fold this hand?
I mean, if you reach,
You're not going to fight with 8-so Tonki?
Wait.
see, I think it's safe, so I'm gonna deal that. But
Fair? I mean, if you're ever going to fold, then like Dama becomes an option.
all right, okay. Now here's another question: do you think the ASO will come out faster if I reach E?
I don't think it would come out that much faster or faster at all. It'll probably just come out regardless.
Yeah, I mean, it'll come
I
out
agree.
if they don't have any. Well, I mean, it's just if people are willing to still push like one chance, right?
I think I think Ricci makes it less likely to come out because
ASO?
people who don't have a hand won't be willing to push it no matter how safe it looks.
Unless they start running out and have to rely on one chance, right?
See, I was
Yeah.
wondering if people would do it will be squeezed out as a safe tile that they're using. I mean, that they were using it and then it got squeezed out. Because I'm not certain the ASO is being used with upper Sozers. Like they might still be waiting on a shape there.
Wait, sorry, you think there could be an unconnected 8-so in people's hands?
No. It's connected, but with NISO
So like 8-9 or 7-8-9
or
already.
7-8 Nimas.
I don't think that Ricci would push it out faster.
Okay.
Like, why would it?
Luke Saver.
But if people are folding, won't they just cut like actual safe tiles? Like, if you assume that they have something connected to the 8-so, wouldn't that make it hard for them to cut the 8-so because the tile it's connected to is not safe? Like, if they had 8-9, like, are they going to cut 8? Like, when they can't cut 9? Like if they're full folding, they'll just fold with safer tiles.
Let me think about this. Yeah, I guess at this level they would.
Yeah, I think it's very reasonable to expect the 8 to just come out naturally if you don't retreat.
Okay.
And then like if you're ever gonna fold, then like you should probably Dama.
All right.
Dom.
Alright, a last. Oh. This was a mistake. This was a mistake. I'm sorry.
This cut or this Kyoku?
This cut. Sorry. This 8-pin was a mistake.
Okay, because it looked like this whole Kyoku was a mistake.
Oh, well.
Wow.
Oh, what does that even mean?
I think we'll see.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, so what would you cut here? Just to be sure.
Wait, sorry. Am I answering that?
Yeah. What you said it was a mistake. What do you think is the correct cut?
The correct cut would probably be 1-1.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. This
what do we have questions for this Kyoku?
I have questions.
Okay.
I think I
also have
misplayed.
questions. There. Oh, I think Aaron misplayed, and it's coming up right now.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, we can,
Was
let's
there
see that
anything?
then.
Was there anything before this, or
No, my first note was in one more
in one more turn?
turn.
Pom.
Yeah, like what is this? What is the intent behind this poem?
Hmm.
Manga unconfirmed.
Chinitsu Dora 3?
Paimon confirmed.
Yeah,
Is
basically.
that the intent?
Basically, yeah.
See that's what I thought when I first saw the poem. I was like, oh, is this just like forcing a single suit hand? But then like your later cuts did not they were not consistent with that. Because from my position, it's like, well, I like even if I deal in 8K, like if it's Tanya Dora 3, it's not a big deal. But
Yeah, and we said we did say
Interesting.
we were going to play like league style, right? So I
right,
would be okay just taking Amongon.
right.
Yeah, at this point, I just thought Tanya was probably faster. And so I'll just take that route.
I mean, Menzen probably would have been faster, I think.
And so it would have been faster.
Especially if you kept the 8-pin. But
Well, yeah, the 8-pin we've established was a mistake, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it looked like you were going for Genie 2, and then you
Gee.
cut Monzu, and it's like there's no way you have it that fast. And then it's just like looking at your hand in this state.
Dom.
I just wasn't sure what you were doing.
Yeah.
Austin, did you not reach it because of Ace Opon?
8
8
mon.
mon.
Yes, 8 mon pawn.
Okay.
But I guess my question is that, well, it was two reasons. One, because of 8 mon pawn. I mean, three reasons. 2 5, so there's three of them visible by the one person that's like likely to drop it, but at the same time, like that means it could be visible or it could be used in other people's hands, so it might not be a good weight. And then if I draw 4, so then I would click Ricci, I think, because the possibility of 12k is a lot better than the 26 soul that doesn't advance me a placement for the risk of potentially losing like 16k from the Mongon or 8k from the Mongon and then the 20 from the placement drop.
Yeah, you can even count out to 18, right?
Sure, yeah.
Well, I
But
mean,
like, is that correct, or is Ricci still the play here?
I mean, I would down with this. It's too much risk for not enough reward to Ricci. Because like if you do Ricci and it's only Menpin, it's like nothing.
Right, exactly.
But I do agree with if you pick up the Forso, then it could be a big hand. Then you Ricci.
Okay. That was my posturing. When I was reviewing this Paifu, I kind of backtracked on that, and I thought that might be like two fourth place avoidance, but now I think that is a fair way to place him.
What are you gonna fold on? Because you're scared of the door pawn.
I mean that's a good question. Like, what did you think that Aaron was doing with the Dorapon?
That I had no clue. I thought he was forcing in like something, but I really had no clue.
It's disabling.
Toy maybe?
Well,
Toy. I mean that's not impossible. Yeah. So then, is there anything you would fold on, like at this point?
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't think so. Maybe I should be folding.
Just
But if he has Dora 3 and then a +1, then it's also Hanetsuma, which is a Gyakuten, so
oh, that's true. There's still a couple Yakuhai that you can't see.
oh, another thought was with Dama. I mean, if people are scared enough of the Yakai pawn, they might cut 2 5 so. But
you mean Dorapon?
Dora pawn, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think that's reasonable. Like it's like normal to expect people to fold against the Dorapon, but like given the cuts and the point situation, it's like no one really has a reason to fold against that except you. Like in my position, I was just like, I don't know what Aaron's doing, but like I don't think he has a real hand, so I'll just keep pushing for now. Like until I saw something else sus happen, I was just gonna kind of ignore him.
So what would be the signal?
I mean, I I don't even I can't, nothing comes to mind. To be
Yeah,
honest,
exactly.
like maybe if it's like confirmed he has Monzu, but like I had a bunch of Monzu. There was a significant amount of Monzu on the board. He Tadashi to 7 pin. Like I only really worry about dealing in to Chinitsu. Like I don't care if I deal into 8,000.
if it's if I think it's 12, Toy Toy Dora 3 Yakuhai, then I would fold, right? I would get Gakten if I dealt in.
Yeah, and you don't really mind me Renchoning for now.
Yeah, it's a little far.
But for Nima, it's true. Dealing into AK is probably, it's not like great, but it's better than like risking losing 20k placement. So
Plus more just from you winning.
yeah,
And I mean, I was Tenpai for a tile I thought would likely come out. So, like, I was going to push this hand until there was like a very strong sign that I could no longer push, which I couldn't think of anything that would cause me to fold at this moment.
I remember. I think the only tile I'll fold on is Yakugai because that's the only way I can see Aaron having 12ks. Toy Toy Dora 3 Yakugai.
Mm.
Otherwise, I can deal into AK and still be third.
Yeah. You think does that make us reach then?
But
What?
no, because if I reach you, then if I deal into 8k, then I lose.
You have to throw a stick.
Right? Yeah,
Okay.
that's that's
I-
why I'm only willing to reach you if I draw into Forso because then I have a good shot at going up placement and like going from second to third is the same as going from third to fourth in terms of just the UMA.
All right.
All right. I think that's everything then. Any other last words before we end? All right. Well, this was our first time doing, this new style of Paifu review, so hope everyone found it useful. Of course, it's going to be tailored towards the players at the table, so every conversation is going to be different. And thank you for, the audience who chimed in with their own questions as well. Yeah, I think we'll end it here then. So going forward, we might, probably do one game per every 2 weeks, and we'll just split it up like this, unless it's like really short or something. But probably just like this, first half, second half of the game. So yeah, all right, I'll stop the recording now.